All right, Ashley, I know you got to go prom dress shopping for your daughter shortly.
No.
So real quick
Homecoming.
before you, I'm
It's
gonna put you.
homecoming. It's
Homecoming season.
Oh, homecoming. I'm seeing it's not
You
prom
can
season.
tell who does the dress shopping in Phil's house.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to put you on the spot. I want to ask you real quick. Fulton County, Fani Willis update. What is the status of the appeal? So let me set this up.
Yeah.
The Georgia Court of Appeals, based on all of your work, ruled that Willis is disqualified from the case and she can't take any further action on it. Now, so far, that is the ruling that stands right now as we are discussing this here on August 17th, 2025. Last fall, correct me if I'm wrong, I want to say it was a November timeframe, Willis filed a petition for, it's called a writ of certiorari, which is a discretionary appeal. She's asking the Georgia Supreme Court to reverse and overturn the Court of Appeals. Now, it's discretionary. They don't have to hear it. And if they say, no, we're not going to hear it, the Court of Appeals ruling stands.
Mm-hmm.
And if they say, yes, we'll hear it, that doesn't automatically mean that she's going to win either. She could still lose. But I guess the question for you, Ashley, is when is the Georgia Supreme Court going to decide whether or not they're going to even hear her appeal?
That's the $1 million question. And they don't have a time frame, so they don't have to decide at any specific time. They can take their time because as of right now, the Court of Appeals is the last word on this, and they have said that she's got to be disqualified. So, the Supreme Court not hearing anything, technically, I mean, that's for us because we don't want them, obviously, to review it further. I mean, we're not afraid of it. We think if they did review it further that they're going to agree with us, but most likely they're just going to issue a one-page opinion, without any actual details, just saying that they're not going to hear it. If they did decide to hear it, I think that we would have heard already. So I think most likely they're just not going to, but it does keep the case sort of in a standstill. Right now, Fani Willis is disqualified. Her office is disqualified. Nothing further can happen on the case. So it has been effectively stopped. At this point, I think that's likely to be what's going to happen, what's going to continue, but we'll see. I mean, the Supreme Court could always change their mind.
My sense, and Rachel, feel free to weigh in. My sense is that, I mean, normally they don't wait this long to decide whether to hear a discretionary appeal. Normally you'll know it in a couple of months, maybe, but certainly not 6 or 8 or 9 months later. So I think that the more time goes by, the less likely it is that they will agree to hear her appeal. But I mean, normally courts just don't sit on these petitions. They're going to have to say, yes, we'll hear it, or no, or not, and clear it off their plate. I can't get my head wrapped around why they haven't done that yet. Rachel, you have a thought?
I honestly don't. I don't know. I really don't. I don't know what's taking so long, but I think whatever momentum she had in this prosecution is now dead.
Well, I think as a practical matter, it is dead, but it's just like we're waiting on the period at the end of the sentence. We got one little piece of it before that whole fiasco is finally over and done with. So
Clyde needs me, so I'm going in a second, but I wanted to show him to everyone, my little Simba. Say hi to everybody, baby.
Hi.
Say hi, Clydie. He said, I was on the show before I knew I was on the show.
Well, one day you can show him this, you can show him this video and say, hey, look what we were doing together back in the day.
He said, I was a lawyer before I was inside the law before I was inside the law. Thank you guys for having us.
All right, Rachel, we'll see you later.
And I'm a big fan of your MK work.
Great.
MK True Crime. Yeah.
Everyone go watch.
All right. Hey, thanks so much, Rachel. We'll see you later.
Thanks, Rachel.
And Ashley, and thanks, by the way, to Blurry Lights. Thank you for saying we were an outstanding panel. That's really nice. I appreciate that. Ashley, any last words about any of this stuff?
I saw a lot of people who want to know if, Fani Willis can be investigated. I mean, of course, we have an attorney general. He's busy right now running for governor, so he has not decided to look into Miss Willis, but I think that he should. I have thought he should from the beginning. I think there's a lot of violations, none of the least of which is a violation of the Open Records Act in Georgia is actually a crime. So, and conspiring to do that. We've been talking about conspiracy. So conspiracy to violate the Open Records Act is definitely a crime. So, there's a lot of things.
Hang on. Let me, so you had this Open Records case that you won, it was a civil case, and you won. She had to write you a check.
Yes.
and you collected on that check. That's
Yes.
public. That's public knowledge. It was
It
a
is.
civil case that you brought because she violated the open records law. Fulton County cut you a check for the cost of attorney's fees, which is yourself and your
Right.
husband John. You guys did a great job. You earned every bit of it and then some. So, but if there's a conspiracy to violate the open records law, that is a crime. Is it a misdemeanor or is it a felony?
So the violation of the Open Records Act is actually a misdemeanor. You know, I feel certain after being involved in this indictment that was, you know, that started all of this, the indictment with you know, President Trump and everyone else, that there's a lot of other crimes, you know, false swearing, false statements, obstruction that could be sort of wrapped in that might have felony complications. If you try hard enough, you know, just like they got a RICO indictment on that case, if you try hard enough, you can get a RICO conspiracy out of just about anything. But I will say that in and of itself, an open records violation is a misdemeanor. But that does not mean it's not prosecutable. It has been prosecuted. City of Atlanta actually tried to destroy records a while back. Recently, a clerk here in Cobb County, Georgia, outside of Atlanta, you know, directed someone to destroy records, got a felony for that. So there are felonies that are attached to it. I think there's a lot of things that could be investigated. You know, perjury, obviously, emails, texts, all of those could be preserved. You know, there's a lot out there if someone wanted to investigate. I wish that we had an attorney general that was willing to do that, because there's a lot of people that have been victimized by this, but not yet.
Well, and people ask me that all the time, and it would, I mean, she's not going to investigate herself. She's not going to prosecute herself. She's not going to turn the GBI or the Fulton County Police, Atlanta Police, or whatever on herself. So
Right.
it would be left to theoretically the Attorney General, or if there's any federal violations, it would be up to the Department of Justice.
Oh, yeah. Anybody who has search warrant power, that's what they need.
Yeah.
Anybody who has search warrant power, really.
And we've got, speaking of, we also have the Georgia Senate. Now they're not a law enforcement entity, but they are trying to get to the bottom of some of this through some subpoenas. And recently, I was speaking with Senator Greg Dolezal, who is sort of helping to lead that effort, I guess. And he sent me something from the Georgia Supreme Court the other day. They issued an order. You know, Willis is trying to quash their subpoena. I guess you've been following that a little bit.
I have, yes.
She's trying to quash their subpoena. They issued a ruling. Basically, I posted it on X, on my X feed, because I'm like, now this is some legalese. But I guess the bottom line is they're trying to ask the parties to brief whether or not they even have jurisdiction to deal with it.
Right. I mean, because the point is she's trying any move she can to keep from the truth coming out. I mean, it's the opposite of transparency. So it's kind of crazy. I mean, she is filing so many legal maneuvers for someone who is trying to seek truth and justice in their job. And that is their job. That is their sworn duty. She is trying everything she can to make sure that truth and justice do not come out when it's her who's being investigated.
Well, you know, this whole thing is it's truly a saga, and it's got so many pieces to it. It's like an octopus with tentacles everywhere. We're going to continue to follow it. I know you are, and I want to say thank you to you for being here today. And
Thanks for having me. Good to see everyone.
I wish you the very best of luck. And as Rachel pointed out, for those of you who may not know, Ashleigh and I are both co-hosts and contributors for one of Megyn Kelly's newest true crime ventures. It's called MK True Crime. You can catch us there. It's a rotating, as a core group of us. I think it's 7 or 8, and we rotate through. It's 3 at a time. Ashleigh and I have not yet been on a panel together, but it's coming up soon. But check that out and look. And we're very. I don't want to speak for you, Ashleigh, but I'm very flattered that we were selected for that, and it's just been a lot of fun. Yeah,
it is. It's a fun show. It's a great show. You know, quick updates on different things. Interesting. We'll be tracking this Adelson trial a lot.
Yeah, and that's the bit. See, and that's why it helps me to be able to do these longer form live streams here on Inside the Law, because we're also covering it over there, and it keeps my brain up to speed on everything that's happened. So anyway, have a big round of applause for Ashleigh, and good luck finding that dress today.
Thank you. Have a good weekend, everyone.
All right. So there you have it, folks. I don't know what's going on with my screen. I can't get it to be the right size. But anyway, look, I want to say thanks to all of you for, we've had 500 and some odd people in here, the live stream now for a while. I really appreciate folks spending some of your weekend with us, whether you're watching us live or on replay. I appreciate you supporting the channel. Please like and subscribe, and I count on that and other ways for your support to help continue to bring you interesting, I hope interesting things. The point is this, of all this, is to not just talk about things, but we want to learn about the real justice system and how it really works in real life. And I always like to make sure that I leave you with one bit of advice. And if I could leave you with anything, I think I would say, if you ever called as a witness, don't be this guy.
Man, can I get a water or something? I'm so high right now, y'all. I'm about to go to sleep on y'all ass. I ain't gonna tell you no lie.
Yes, you may. We're gonna take a break soon. Hang in there.
So don't ever be that guy. I'm going to have to leave it right there for today, and I'll catch you next time back here inside the law.